This series of short videos will follow me through a 14-day fast. In the end, I should achieve my ideal healthy weight. If it doesn't, I will continue the fast. I demonstrate by example the effectiveness of fasting for weight loss. I personally have lost over 100 pounds fasting. I will soon begin offering an online course describing what I have done and how I have done it. I will detail why this works and why all reduced calorie diet approaches are doomed to failure. I will show you the changes I've made in my diet to keep the weight off and tremendously improve my health. And I will support it with scientific evidence. Why do I feel this is important? 2018, 82.7% of American adults were overweight, obese, or extremely obese, according to the CDC. That was 4 years ago, prior to the pandemic-related weight gain. Obesity-related conditions include heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and certain types of cancer. I don't want any of those. These are among the leading causes of preventable premature death. The estimated annual medical cost for obesity in the United States was $147 billion way back in 2008. Medical cost for people with obesity is $1,400 higher than for those with a healthy weight. Obesity is an epidemic in America. My message is, it is not your fault. We have all been misled by what causes obesity and how to deal with it. Brief, you may ask? Well, the CDC reports increasing obesity while we've been given the same ineffectual advice since the 70s. Eat less, move more. Eat less saturated fat, eat less sugar. Good advice, but manufacturers keep replacing the fat with sugar to sell low-fat products to keep you happy. Eat more fruits and vegetables. Good advice. Eat less processed food. Good advice. Better advice, eat no processed food. Eat a plant-based diet. Well, that can work. That can go wrong. Entirely not necessary. With the best of intentions, the three-letter acronym government agencies and medical associations keep doubling down, tripling down on the same ineffective advice. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, according to Albert Einstein. The unfortunate truth is, there is nothing you can eat to help you lose weight. Or to turn it around, eating nothing is what causes you to lose weight. We eat to maintain or increase our body weight. Of course, it's more complicated than that. There are many ways to lose a small amount of weight, say 10 or 15 pounds. It's also very easy to gain it all back and then some. I did that many times. I was very obese. The advice we have all been given is ineffective at keeping weight off. Join me in the video series as I touch on some of the information I have learned along the way. An effective way to get it off and keep it off. Thanks for your time. Hey, good evening and welcome back. Those of you that have been here before, and it's good to see you, and it's good to see all those who are coming here for the first time. This is day 5, and I just noticed in my intro there that I was talking about all the diseases caused by obesity I don't want to have. Well, it did give me one disease. I have been diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic. However, through maintaining a low-calorie diet, a low-carbohydrate diet, my hemoglobin, HbA1c, blood test measurement that doctors use, which indicates your average blood glucose levels, is, in the terms of my doctor, extremely good. I said to him, well, so am I cured of diabetes? He goes, no, we don't ever let you be cured of diabetes. We call it diabetes controlled with diet. All right, whatever. It means I'm not suffering the damage that chronic high blood glucose causes, which, according to my understanding, is one of the things it does is damage the lining, the epithelial cells of all your blood vessels. veins in your arteries. And that damage is then repaired by the body using cholesterol. Over time, that cholesterol becomes calcified and turns into plaque and blocks the blood flow. This is why some of the related complications of diabetes, and why if you're a type 2 diabetic, perhaps type 1, yeah, probably type 1 too, they want to examine your feet every time you're in the doctor's office. It's one of the first places the loss of blood, proper blood flow shows up is in the feet, and you will often see long-term diabetics who are very seriously into the disease with amputated feet and legs. I knew a gentleman who had lost both legs. He's no longer with us. So if I can't cure my diabetes, at least I can, I believe, not have it be the problem. So that's that. What I've got for you tonight is over here looking at my paper. I want to talk a little bit about the waist-height ratio. I dug up the research paper for that. Visceral fat, abdominal obesity. Also, we're going to talk about the calories in, calories out myth. And then, of course, we'll get to the numbers. So let's look at the waist-to-height ratio. Here's a graph from a research paper. I'll put a link to the paper in the comments for this episode. This is for men. There's three graphs, or three sets of bars there, age 30, 50, and 70. And what you will notice is that the impact of too big a belly is age dependent. It's also sex dependent. There's some studies showing that there are small differences in races as well. But you get the overall picture here. In the worst case, for a young man, it's 20 years. So the axis on the left is years of life lost. And the bottom is this ratio of waist to height. So you take the circumference around your waist, divide it by your height. You got a number there. And for men, the optimum, the minimum there that you see, with no years lost to belly fat, is 0.5. For women, it is 0.46, I believe. So this is why the tape measure is my preferred method for determining when I have achieved optimal leanness. Go back to me. So there it is, my favorite buddy, tape measure. And we're going to see a little surprise tonight on my numbers related to that. So what's this all about? I step back here, we're going to learn a couple of things. Let me go on, way on back here. I got a green screen behind me. So there's an optical illusion you have noticed that the bricks have suddenly become larger. There's not really any bricks there. But I still got this little bit of belly. So the belly that I want to get rid of is called abdominal obesity. Visceral fat. That's fat inside my body cavity here, messing with all my organs. That's the way to look at it. Just all that fat interferes with the organs. I want to get rid of that. And this research shows that's a good idea. Calories in, calories out. You've probably heard that. That's the whole basis behind eat more, move, or eat less, move more. Well, it's a myth. So the calories in, obviously, is your eating. Calories out is the exercise you do, plus what's called your basal metabolic rate. And there's a number of factors in that. Part of them have to do with age and body weight. The more you weigh, the more energy your body has to spend taking care of everything. Basal metabolic rate is the calories you would burn if you laid in bed all day without digesting any food. We don't do that. Our total metabolic rate includes all the movement we do during the day, and the digestion of food actually takes energy as well. And your body has control of this basal metabolic rate. There's another feature of the human body, it's called homeostasis. The body kind of likes to remain static. We have growing evidence of a weight set point. What happens under normal circumstances when you're eating, if you eat less, you drop a little bit of weight and you will plateau. The body says, hey, I'm not getting enough food, so it turns the thermostat down, lowers that basal metabolic rate, and it's a large percentage of the calories you burn every day. Really hard to burn a whole lot more than that. So this is the problem with reduced calorie diets. If you want to continue losing weight on a reduced calorie diet after you plateau, then you reduce it some more and some more and some more. This is why we've never seen a Biggest Loser reunion show. They virtually all regain the weight. Future episode, I'm going to talk about a research paper I found where they did a study on one of the seasons, and they had one guy who had kept the weight off, but his metabolism was severely damaged. He had to maintain that very low calorie intake to maintain that loss of weight he had. So what's the deal with fasting? Well, fasting is a hack. I'm on day 5. During 5 days of fasting, your metabolism actually increases up to 10%. I'm getting an extra boost today. I'm not damaging my metabolism by fasting. I'm protecting it. And the way fasting works as you get into this level is it's not scavenging. People will tell you it's scavenging your muscle. It's not. It's not. It's taking fat, turning it into ketones and sugar for the cells in your body that require sugar, red blood cells, some of your kidney cells, maybe some of the brain. Ketones for the brain, and the rest of the body can run on glucose or ketones or fat directly. So, there we go. When you're eating, it generates your body to excrete insulin because it's wanting to protect your blood cells. That blood sugar goes up, insulin comes in to get rid of it. So while that insulin is present, it shuts down fat metabolism. It puts a lid on your fat cells. Fat can be put in because your liver is going to take that sugar and turn it into fat. Fat can go into the cells, but it can't come out to be burned. So you need to go a period of time without eating for that to begin happening. So the calories in, calories out kind of tells us, once we know about how our metabolism works, that the eat less, move more never works. Reduced calorie diets never work. Except, of course, if you want to keep reducing and reducing and reducing calories. Now, the other thing is, during fasting, there is protein used. It's a process called autophagy. It was only discovered, 10 or 15 years ago. It's a process the body uses to scavenge and recycle bits of old dead cells, damaged cells, unneeded cells. As you lose weight, you need less skin, and your body will recycle that skin. So with fasting, you don't end up with loose skin. Reduced calorie diet, you end up with all this horrible amount of loose skin. If you lose enough, it needs to be surgically removed because it can be prone to infections where it folds over and doesn't stay dry. If you undergo bariatric surgery, first I thought, well, that's just forced fasting. Well, it's not. Because people on that have had bariatric surgery eat 600 to 1,200 calories a day. It's a forced, very low calorie diet, but it's a high enough calorie diet that these protective mechanisms of fasting don't kick in, and they end up with lots of loose skin, which then has to be surgically removed if there's enough of it. So fasting is the way to go, in my opinion. It's what works for me. That's what I've done. That's what I've decided on. Okay, so we got waist-height ratio, calories in, calories out. Let's look at some numbers. So here's today's numbers. 1 pound lost, 0.2 total for this fast, 101.2 total for this fast. Overall time. Earned 2750 calories yesterday. Well, as I said, my metabolism should be increasing. Well, I also typically do a whole lot of walking during the day. And it's kind of a loophole. You can fast away extra weight by getting in extra exercise. Normally, if you're eating, body tends to do a lot of exercise when you sit down in the evening. It tends to reduce it to make up for it, maintain your body weight. It doesn't happen during fasting. And I've added a column here for total water loss. So this is calculated by these calories burns, which are estimated by my Fitbit based on the heart rate and other parameters. So I take that number of calories divided by 3,500 to determine how many pounds of fat that would be. Subtract that from what I actually lost, and what's left over must be water I'm getting rid of. So I've lost about 2.4 pounds of water so far. I'm kind of interested in that because once I begin eating again, that weight is going to all come back quickly. So blood glucose 66 looks like it's stabilized. Blood ketones 5.5 are going way up there, which gives me a really low GKI of 0.6. And that's classified as the highest therapeutic range for ketosis. Okay, but drop in my waist size today. That surprised me. I don't normally, I measure my waist every day for this. I don't normally do that. And I think I know what it is. This may seem a little unpleasant, but I got rid of some solid waste today, day 5. It surprised me. It's never happened that late. I think that may be linked to that. So we're probably going to see a little higher than normal weight loss tomorrow as a result of that as well. So there it is. That's today's presentation. As always, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming back. If you really appreciate it, if you help me out and spread the word, pass the links on to somebody you know that might enjoy this. There's a new video every day throughout this fast. We got 9 days to go. Some things I'm planning on speaking about in the future are my story, how I got into this. Got some graphs to put together for that. My protocol, how do I do this? Hypnosis, because hypnosis is really useful to help people fast. Useful in a whole lot of other ways too, but it's how it's used in connection with this. Well, it's also great for helping with stress and successful fast. Here's a pro tip for you for fasters: drink lots of fluid and get lots of sleep. And stay busy. Stress, we can't avoid stress. We just got to learn how to deal with it. So I'm going to give you some tips for that as well. I hope. All right. So we'll see you tomorrow. Till then, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks.